Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, welcome back.
Yes, another episode.
How have you been this week?
Really good.
Yeah.
And this last week I've had both of my girls in the district running cross country. And,
Cool.
they're not top of their schools, but they have a go, which I love. And nobody loves cross country. Come on, like how hard is long distance running?
I would argue on that. I love cross country only because I wasn't great in the classroom.
Yeah.
But I was amazing on the sports field.
Oh, there
And
you
so
go.
I kind of kind of even the score with all of my friends when they're getting A pluses and I'm getting sort of like B minuses at best. But then took them to the field, took them to the court, took them to the track.
Yes.
And they're like struggling to get out when I'm already gone.
You smash them.
Yeah,
There
so sports was a good thing for me. Actually, my girls
Yeah.
really into music, theatre and dance.
Yeah.
But actually, what I shared with you last episode, I think, or the episode before with Guy, that my daughter has, it was actually Omar, changed schools. And one of the things in filling out the new student form was, what are your favorite subjects? And I turned to Maddie and I was like, fuck, I actually don't even know. What are your favorite subjects? She goes, sport.
Yes.
I went, what? What do you mean?
Ah.
Sim is happy to write. Oh God, I'm exposing her right now, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sim is happy to write a note to get my kids out of sport.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm happy to write the note to get them out of class.
Yes.
They can never miss a sports day. They
Yes.
can never miss cross country. They can never
Yes.
miss anything like that.
Yeah, and my husband and I will always make sure we've taken the days off whenever they've got a sporting thing. And, once a year we miss something, but our kids are used to us showing up for those
Totally.
things. And they really, really put it on. So if we miss something,
I did the same. So I would never miss a sports day for my kids, except I showed up to the school my daughter is currently in. She's moving schools in third term, but and we were the only parents.
We were the
High
only
school.
parents there yesterday. Not kidding. High school. It must be different because both our kids are year 7.
Yes.
And then I saw our daughter walking over. I said, Christian, she's coming over. He goes, nah, she'll be stopping at the canteen. She came over, had a little chat. Sure enough, it was can I have some money to go back to the canteen? But it was nice. We got to chat.
Do you Spriggy at all? Do you know what Spriggy is?
No.
Okay, so it's like a debit card for kids.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to get on this, Kate. Kate, this will
I
change
love
your
it.
life.
So good.
So Maddie has a Spriggy card,
Yeah.
but she's gamifying Simone and I.
Ah.
So she's like, hey, Dad, can you put some money on my Spriggy? I want to go get a hot chocolate at lunchtime. I'm like, yeah, no worries. Hey, Mom, can you put some money on my canteen card? Because there's 2 different systems.
yeah.
I want to get a hot chocolate at school. So now she's pulled $20 out of both of us, not for a one hot chocolate, but I don't want to say manipulated, but she's played us both to put
Clever.
money on the different systems.
Smart parents, smart kids. So
I don't know. She's pushing the boundaries, this one. But one of the things that I think that you and I have in common, amongst a lot of other things, is we're both girl mums and dads.
Yeah.
And coming up on our show today is Holly Bailey, who started a company way back in the day called Play Like a Girl.
Love it.
And so it spoke to me, and I had Holly on the vlog previous to podcasting and learnt all about her business. And we're going to get a massive update on where she's at, what she's been doing, how she's been doing it, and who she's been doing it with. So after the break, thanks to our guys at the Rise Network, we'll hear from Holly Bailey. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon. So Skater Kate.
Yeah.
On the couch we have Holly Bailey. Holly, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
No worries.
I was going to say I met Holly at the Port Melbourne Football Club.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm now bringing guests on that you already knew.
There we go.
We've been on 2 segments over the last few weeks where guests have shown up and, hi, Tobi, good to see you again. How's things? And Kate's like, what? You guys know each other? So it's great. Now it's been exchanged.
So good. So I don't know much about Play Like a Girl, but I know about your career from netball to the ladies football. What do we call it?
AFLW?
VFLW. Is it?
VFLW.
VFLW.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about how your career started.
Absolutely. I'm here to enlighten you, Kate. So I started Play Like a Girl 9 years ago this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's an amazing feat, just for the record.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it definitely looked very different 9 years ago. It was sort of the seeds were being planted then, and now we're in a really different position. And even thinking back about our vlog, in what feels like a long time is a really short time, and so much has changed, and what we're able to do has really changed and evolved as well. I really started the business because I wanted to find a solution to some problems that I was identifying in my sport specifically. I'd grown up playing netball. That was my first love. I also grew up in a really sporty, competitive family, predominantly raised by my dad and my older brother. So all I knew was sport. All I knew was competing and getting out there. And in my netball, I'd love to do just that. I would play as many games a week as I could. Dad would be driving me around all over the countryside. I'm sure you two both relate to that.
Yep.
And I just loved every minute of it. And then I started to get to play in higher grades and different teams and things. And I really learned the hard way around how important our mindset is in terms of our performance. And I didn't have the language or any of this around it then. But I learned when I got into some higher grades, I started to think, maybe I'm a bit short. Maybe I'm not quite ready for that level. And I settled at a level that I was doing pretty well at. And then I got an opportunity to go and play at a grade higher than I thought that I was ready for. And I went along and I played really well. And the coach came up to me afterwards and he said, where have you been? And I just said, probably a bit short, or, not sure if I was ready for this. And just said, well, I just put a girl in the level above this one who's your height. So that's not true.
Wow.
And as someone who's been an all-in kind of gal and learned hard work from my dad, that was really heartbreaking to realize it was actually my own limitations.
Yeah, own barrier.
And that was truly the first seed of Play Like a Girl, because I just remember it washing over me like a wave and thinking, I do not want this for me and I don't want this for anyone else either. And it kind of sparked a little bit of a journey to go and find some solutions or tools and techniques that I could use to help me from that perspective. And I guess on that journey, I sort of also found, from a leadership perspective, there was also all of this tools and techniques and content and resources out there that I never knew about or never knew that existed, I suppose. So I was starting to learn all of these different things, a lot in the context of work and just on my own sort of personal discovery, and thought, why are we not teaching this in sport? This would be ideal, and I wish I had to learn it a little bit sooner. So that was sort of the beginnings. Mm-hmm. And so that was the reason why I really started. And then over the last couple of years, it's sort of shifted. That still exists, and that's still a really important piece of work that we do for the women and girls in our community. But somewhere along the way, through that self-discovery, I started realizing I am still the boys. Like, I am saying the things that they say. I am acting how they act. I'm competing in the way that they compete. And I love that part of me. But is it all of me?
Sure.
And the answer is no, it's not. And I sort of wanted to explore some of those other parts of myself, some of that more feminine style leadership, the way to show up in life, be a little bit more expressive, be able to open myself up and not close myself off so much. So there is a sort of a turning point where Play Like a Girl to me became play like a girl again and just sort of allow yourself to be seen and heard, that side that wasn't really allowed to be shown before. And I really love that part of it too. It just gives it a different meaning and evolution as I've grown. And then now where we're at, again, like that all comes with me as part of the journey. But now we've got this huge community right across the country, across all sporting codes of women and girls at all different levels of leadership. Maybe they've just got a desire for it and they're starting, or maybe they've been in it for a while. Those skills that we learn through sport are directly transferable into our roles as leaders, whether it's in our community or our careers. So now we actually have an opportunity to have an impact on the leadership gap in this country, because we've got thousands of women and girls across this country with a desire for leadership. We've got to enable that, make sure they've got the skills and confidence to do it, and then help them find those roles where they can get out there and lead.
So if I'm a first-time listener and there's a chance that someone's dialed in or streaming right now for the first time, play like a girl. I know what it is, but like, can you just give us the elevator pitch on, as if I'm learning about it for the first time?
It's such a good question, because I love telling the story. And people are like, yeah, I know the name, but what is it, Hol? Could you give us a little bit more info? So we exist for the empowerment of women and girls through sport.
Yep.
The way that we do that is through leadership development programs. We have a nationwide community where we have networking events and guest speakers coming along. We've got all of those good resources that I found along the way in one location. So if there's anything as a woman in sport that you need, our community is where you find that.
I'm a professional sports person in any league, and am I thinking about being a leader in my club, or am I thinking about engaging you because my days in said sport is getting shorter and shorter and I need to transition?
Both. So it's really broad. So because we run personal development programs using sport as a vehicle that we teach through, so the case studies that we talk about are women in sport, the leadership examples that we talk about are women, it can really apply to anyone at any different level of leadership.
Yep.
So we have girls from the age of 15 and then up to the age, or the mature age of 65, I think might be our member who is the most mature, and anything in between. So there might be grassroots footy, it might be on a board at a life-saving association, it could be any role within sport. We all come together because we want to either create great experiences for the next generation coming through, or we feel like we've got things that we can bring to the community to help the others who are coming through.
I feel like the penny just dropped for me when you explained that, because the first thing I thought is, so Tobi brings all of these incredible sporting people on the pod.
Oh, you brought some people too.
And predominantly male sporting people though. However, we've got some more female sporting people coming through. And straight away when they're here talking their sport, if I don't know a lot about their sport, all of the things they're talking about in leadership are relevant to business and entrepreneurship. And I think that is so obvious and probably quite well known in the male community. If you've been good at sport, you're probably going to be a good team player and make a good leader and run a good business. But that gap, I haven't seen that has been done for females. I can't think of as many females that have been shining sporting stars that have used those skills to transfer into business and leadership and entrepreneurship.
So I'm hopeful that Holly's still around when Alice Kunick shows up. Alice is a WNBL great or to be a great. She played for the Opals. Yeah. She's the MVP. And she's now considering transitioning she's done some sports casting. So she's called the games and been a commentator for the NBL. And so she's transitioning out of professional athlete into something. And we've got an open conversation. We'll talk more about it, but it'd be great to connect you guys, because she might just be a massive ambassador for what you're trying to do, or what you're doing. But she also might bring another dimension to it. So I'm hoping there's a collision here between studios that you get to meet Alice, because I think that would be phenomenal.
I just love that the skills our kids are learning at sport, like our 4 daughters between us love sport, that there's a way that they can harness that and take that as a skill into their career rather than...
For me, it's all about that. Yeah. So like I even look at how I run my companies today. Yeah. It's basketball mindset, because as a kid, I was wildly passionate about basketball. I still am, but because I was passionate about it, because I was good at it, I became passionate about it, and I understood that you had to put your team in a position to be able to get the easy shot or get the easy points or get a stop on defense. And so today, like, I don't want to shine a light on Cubes, but like, you know, our offense is run through our sales team. Our defense is run through our happiness team. And our happiness team is about delivering happiness and making sure that we get stops for not giving people a reason to walk out of our doors, right? They're not aggressive in terms of defense, but if we just continue to deliver a phenomenal experience, people just keep coming back. And so for me, it's all about sport. It's the only thing I actually really grasped as a kid that has enabled me to be able to be this entrepreneur that I am, because I'm just thinking about the fundamentals of the sport, not thinking about what said science teacher or English or my math teacher. Shout out to Miss D. She was beautiful. I caught up with her a few months back when I visited my nephews at school, and Miss D came out. She's still teaching all these years later. And it was great to see her. My mum will send her this clip for sure. James, get that as a clip. Shout out to Miss D. You're the best teacher ever. But I don't think about the theoretics. I think about the application of what I needed to achieve on the court, and I've applied that in business.
I completely relate. Yeah, I really relate to that. At school, I loved playing sport. That was kind of my domain. I didn't find a love of learning until later. So the way that I learned skills and how I could perform was through sport.
Yep.
And I can't imagine life unfolding this way if it wasn't for growing up in sport and recognizing that the skills that you learn through sport are transferable. And the one that's coming to mind immediately that came sort of came up lately, I live in a world of sports metaphors, and there was one that I really resonated with lately, talking about like business like sport is a contact sport. You have to be all in. You cannot hesitate. There are going to be severe ups and downs. You have to be in the game, committed to really win.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love thinking about it is a contact sport, whether it's public speaking or whether it's getting the nose or whatever it might be. Those things are things that we've dealt with through our sport. You know, we have to show up on Monday when you had an awful game and a big loss, and you've got to show up, keep training for no obvious result immediately. And like you, I I pick things up much faster through the context of sport and metaphors than I do reading, you know, a technical book.
For sure. And so like basketball, there's a 24-second shot clock. We have a 24-hour clock in our day, right? And my kids, you mentioned before, we've got 4 girls between us, sometimes spit the dummy. Maybe that's a sports metaphor as well, but or a quote. And they get down on themselves. And I'm in there going, lifting their head up. I go, hey, we get to reset the shot clock in the morning. Don't worry about fumbling the ball on this play, i.e. messing up today. Let's just get back on defense tomorrow and make sure that, you know, we don't lose the game because of one stupid play.
Yeah.
And I continue to drill my kids with, not drill them, but like reinforce that it's okay to mess up. Just let's make up for it on the next possession, right? Whether that's them losing their minds at each other, you know, and trying to stop them from trying to kill each other at times, to them, you know, acting out to a situation, to a friend, to Simone or myself, you know, hey, you get to make up for it in the next 24 seconds, you know, or the next 24 hours in a real world. So I love it. You know, I don't think I'd be who I am if it wasn't for sport. So I'm all in on that.
I totally agree. The main program that we run is called Empowered to Lead. So we want women and girls to come out the back end feeling the most empowered to lead as they ever have before. And the very structure of that program is built on the lessons that I learned through my sport the hard way. Mm-hmm. And as I've shared a little bit of the journey, that it becomes quite obvious when I share it out loud. So module 1's all around mindset. How do we think? How do we perceive ourselves? Because that's really going to matter. What are the tools and techniques we can use to make sure that we stay focused on the right things. So mindset becomes the most important thing to begin with. Then module 2 is, well, what are we focused on? What is it that we're going for? What would success look like for us? What is a win? Because what I learned was I was focused on the things that I couldn't do or wasn't doing well, or why I wasn't up to the scratch, when really I was just focused on the wrong things. So module 2 is, what are we focused on? What is winning? Let's make sure we're focused on that. And then module 3 is, what kind of leader do I need to bring that vision to life? Who do I need to be as a leader for this to eventuate? And what are the skills, tools, techniques that I've got, and what are the things I've learned through my sport that are going to enable this? Then module 4 is around leading others, because growing up in a family like I did, we were very independent, but we can't run a business like that, or we can't lead like that. We need to be able to engage, motivate, inspire people into action. So module 4 is all around that. And module 5 is the grit and empowerment module, which is how do we get out there and play like a girl, because it's going to be hard. So how do we take all of that and get out there and bringing all of those things that we've learned. So that very structure of what I had learned and felt were the most important elements is now what we teach through our programs. And that has been so well received. You know, there's not really anything out there that are teaching off-field development that it's not only for elite athletes, it's for grassroots leaders or players.
I was going to ask, so 5 modules, how long do those modules take to absorb?
It runs over 6 weeks.
Okay.
So you get a module each week.
Okay.
And we're in cohorts now of around 25. When I was first doing it, we were running them in cohorts of 50, which was way too big. But the way that happened was when I released the pilot program, I'd been running workshops for years and thought, I can't continue. It's not sustainable like this. I want to try and scale. So we built an online program. When I released that pilot program, my accountant, who's a player manager for some AFLW girls and some cricketers, he saw the pilot program and said, absolutely love this. I want to sponsor the first 50 girls to do the program, which was crazy. And I had the number 50 written on my mirror for months thinking that would be like the most ridiculous thing to ever happen. And then I got that phone call and thought, okay, wow, like this is so cool.
No, just add a 0 to the 50.
I know, right? So that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
So what that meant was I could go to some sporting clubs and to some schools and say, we've got a pilot program that we would like to fill. And we filled it really quickly because we had 50 spots. So I ran it that way the whole first year. We ran 5 programs like that. And we continued with that model to be able to commercialise, because if we're going to grassroots or community clubs or even state level sporting programs for women, it's unlikely they're going to have a lot of budget to spend on leadership programs.
So got 2 questions for you, and I'm sure there'll be more. But who is your customer?
Great question.
And if your customer can't afford it, how do you supplement that to enable it to go forward?
Great question. So we have 2 customers. One customer are our women and girls who do the programs and are part of our network. As individuals, yes. And then our other customer are our corporate partners and local government. So I would say 90% of our revenue comes through corporate partners. And the way that we activate that, a corporate partner will come along and buy a pack of scholarships for our program. And then thanks to Hopper Motor Group or thanks to Tal Insurance or someone like this, now we have 20 scholarships for our upcoming program. Everyone apply. And so now we get hundreds of people applying for the program because we have fully funded scholarships available pretty much all the time.
Wow.
So this has got me thinking, Kate, I'm talking a lot.
No, I love this. This is
okay. No, I'll keep going. So we're actually quite philanthropic as an organization. We do, and this is not in the sports world. However, we could probably swing it towards the sports world. We do a program called Pitch for a Spot, which you're familiar with. Yeah. People get to stand up in a Shark Tank environment and pitch their business, and the winners get 12 months rent-free at Cubes. I wonder whether or not there's an opportunity to collaborate to bring some awareness. Because, by the way, Pitch for a Spot, the program gets hundreds of thousands of views. Like, we get hundreds of applications. Only 10 people get to stand up on the night. Otherwise, we'd be there for months. And there's an entertainment value as well. We want to see some people hit the wall. You know, not in a negative way, but just
brutal.
Yeah, it's part of it. And then on the flip side, if anyone's listening, there's a little trick to the game. He's a past winner actually of Pitch for a Spot.
Nice.
Look how well he's doing. So shout out to James at Purpose Productions, who was it year 1 or year 2?
Year 2 was Hawthorn.
Year 2 Hawthorn. So we've done over 900,000. We've done 9 events. We've done over $900,000 worth of giveaway. But I just wonder whether or not there's an opportunity to collaborate to bring a focus, and I don't know how to do it because I don't know if it's modularized but there's got to be a way that we can sort of shine a light on Play Like a Girl because it gets hundreds of thousands of views. And this year we're actually I can't say it yet, but we're partnering with one of the biggest companies on planet Earth, and it's in the AI space, and it's really exciting. But I just wonder whether or not there's something there that I can give from a philanthropic perspective to shine light on all the great work that you're doing and hopefully inspire people that are on the field wanting to potentially get off the field to do something different. And then on the flip side, people that are off the field wanting to maybe try and dabble in this. I don't know, but I've got this massive resource at your disposal. You just got to let me know how to shape it.
I really appreciate that. I would love to continue that conversation. Our whole business is built on partnerships and meeting people like you two that are, really trying to offer as much as we can to help each other win. We all know how hard it is in business, and Cubes has been such a important part of our journey. When I first became a member here, we didn't even have a program yet. Sure. I came in here just after COVID to film all the content, and when I walked in, I thought, okay, this is cool. We'll film it in here. And there's been 3 or 4 iterations where we've done it all in here. And now when we have our media days, we have 20 girls from all different sporting codes coming in all their gear, sitting on the bleachers, taking photos and doing really cool stuff. And I mean, the people that do our videos, we met through here, and I've met so many different people through here, and it's the network not only that I get supported by, but we can use for our community to help them grow as well. So it's been such an important part of our journey.
So it's working. It's working, because that was the theory. And in the classroom, I was, with being theoretical about what we wanted to try and do, and we're doing it. It's great. My next building is in Balaclava, which isn't too far from here, but actually the theme of it is open court. So I think we need to do something that has you woven into that community as a backdrop to the athletes and people that you bring in, being in a space called open court. I know it may be not open field or cross country.
She did
track.
netball.
It's every code. We have women from every code.
But the court aspect is like, I find myself watching the footy. Like, I get dragged to the footy by my father-in-law, who he's just the North Star for me. And I'm not a footy person because I grew up in Sydney. That's the way it is. But I get dragged to the footy, and I often find myself saying, we're sitting courtside, but we're not, because it's not a court. So I'm very basketball minded. But yeah, let's try and figure out a way. I don't know if it's just a facilitation and the space to help nurture, or whether or not there's a program that could be run from there, and people can come and actually check in and use the space to complete their modules. I don't know. There's something, but like we're girl parents.
Yeah.
I'm really proud to be a girl dad, and I think when I first met you, it could have been just pre or post the movie that came out, Ride Like a Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that resonated with my daughter Maddie.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? They do ride horses. Not far from your place, but actually they like to ride surfboards, and Kate used to ride a skateboard.
Love it.
But so yeah, like this all speaks to me, and I'm in a position where I can try and help. So let's help.
I'm just thinking about, I think it was either module 2 or 3, and where your story about the gap, like thinking, because I'm not tall enough, I can't do this. And I think I listen, the echoes in my mind of, like, Tobi, when you talk about business and what you're good at, you talk about what you're good at. Women and girls talk about what they're not good at. And so when you said you're always lifting your daughters up, it's because we don't talk about what we're good at. We talk about the gaps and not the games, the gaps in the games. That's
I was
one of
walking
those
Maddie to the train station this morning. She's moving schools, as we've talked about. And she's like, Dad, I'm going to suck up my new school. I'm the best in my current school, but going to this new school that's full of athletes, and this school is known for developing AFL and NBL and all types of players. And she's like, I'm going to suck. So I think you're actually spot on there. She's talking about how she's not going to be great versus actually there's an opportunity to grow and try and be better.
And I think that's so empowering, that module itself. And you think back to, you've got your prime example. My example was I was told that I couldn't be CEO because we needed a real CEO. And when I asked what that was, I was told it was a male.
For real?
For real.
Wow.
Yeah, not my favorite moment.
But that's on them. That's not on you. Like Gav Fernando here, he's head of sales, and we've been through the war together. Like, we went through COVID together. We showed up together every single day to try and resuscitate this business every time Dan opened his mouth and locked us down. Gavin and I were in here the next day, like literally giving it CPR. And he taught me a really valuable lesson, which is, and it's come out here in this conversation, like you've taken that as, oh no,
What's
but actually it's a poor reflection on the mindset of someone that said that, not on anything else. I get that it's different, but it's.
But
I totally
you feel
relate.
that?
Yeah. And there's one that came to mind. I spoke about it recently where I was working in an organisation doing business development, and I was doing some admin. I wanted to do more business development. I started loving networking, which is not for everyone. So, but at the time, my boss said to me, "Oh, I just don't think you're commercial enough to do that." And I probably wasn't commercial enough because I didn't even know what he meant. But what that competitor in me was like, well, I will show you. I will find out everything that I need to be able to come commercial, to learn what I need to, and went absolutely turbo on it to the point where when I first started working for myself, I was an outsourced business development person. That was literally what I did because I'd gone so hard to prove that actually I do have that skill set.
I did an MBA because I was like, is that what a real CEO has? Maybe I'll do that. And just to fill that gap. But I think it is in women's mindset. You talk about your daughters, and I think about myself and my daughters as well. They are always focused on the gap, or we're not going to win the cross country because they're taller than me. Like, there is something with that. They've got longer legs. They're going to go faster. And you're like, no, I was amazing at sport. So, it's
this is very truly what my experience. Like I'm a mad journaler, and in the mornings it's a constant practice I mentioned being really diligent around what I'm focused on, because so often it's focused on the not enoughness or the not good enoughness.
Yes.
And at the same time, all of these great wins are happening. We're getting amazing results for our customers, or where women are having life-changing experiences in our program. Meanwhile, I'm going, but we're not far enough ahead, or we don't have enough money in the bank, or but I could be doing so much more, or I didn't perfect that speaking opportunity. And it's like a constant effort to refocus back on the right things to enable performance,
but I think that's really important though. So some of the stuff that like what you're saying on the glass half full, I'm focused on the glass half full. I think that's really, really important for growth. Yeah, or the stuff that you're not doing well, the fact that you're not commercial enough, or what is that? And then you went and developed the muscle for that. And now you're strong in that department. Yeah. But if someone wouldn't have said it, you might have gotten 10 years down the track and someone said that, and you're like, oh shit, like,
I don't have those skills now.
Yeah,
those hits are so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did a marketing campaign for International Women's Day this year, and the theme was do it anyway. And we had myself and a whole bunch of our members actually in this room filming content, and we had them come and share stories of when someone said this and I actually went and did it anyway, and here's the result. And it was one of the most empowering things. It was one of the most powerful campaigns we had done, and it had me reflect on all of those moments. I had people saying Play Like a Girl is the worst idea for a business name, and you know what? We did it anyway. And got told you weren't commercial enough. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I've got this beautiful big sort of branded car with all our values all over it, and that's a great thing, but also that means you're also recognised and the car's been damaged or vandalized at times for the same reason, but it's like, well, that's okay. Like if that's their experience, sure, but I'm going to drive it anyway because the meaning behind it is so much bigger.
Do you know what it is? Sometimes it's the loud minority. It's not the silent majority. Yeah, it is. No, I'm being dead serious. I face this battle as well every single day, not on a personal level, but as a community, where there's rampant anti-Semitic behavior going on all over the place. But it's just one idiot that got the attention of someone that's got a camera that the video went viral. It's not how the majority think. So someone vandalizing your car because of the values you've written there or whatever, unless you've pranged the car, Holly, you just covering up?
No. It was spray painted with foam saying man.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the loud minority. Majority of people do not feel that way, unfortunately, because they're loud and because it is so in your face. It brings attention, but most people don't feel that way. And I'd be shocked if I was wrong on that. I'm not right on a lot, but I'd be shocked if that wasn't. But either way, you've got to use it as fuel, and you've also got to put it in perspective, right? So someone might take a ripper mark or make a massive tackle. Like that's one possession in 2.5 hours or four quarters of footy, or, someone might dunk on someone. You got to, all right, cool. That hurt. All right, let's go back, and I've got a really, really great friend who is now the CEO of Baby Bunting. And he used to say to me a lot, he's like, the way he has gotten to where he's gotten is he's prepared to lose for so long, and then he's won where it counted, right? But everything was lessons and life lessons and painful lessons and tough pills to swallow, and like taking it in the teeth, not physically, but just kind of like, fuck, that really hurt. But now he's the CEO of Baby Bunting, right? Public company, stock's doing really well. He's flying, he's earning serious money. But all of those losses took him to that position, right? Yeah. I'm not saying he was losing forever. He had some amazing success, but he said he learned the most in the toughest times when he wasn't getting the scores on the board. And now he's scoring in a big way. So I think it's all part of the journey. Those hits, I love how you describe, like, taking the hits and that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Like that's those sorts of things. Like some people can't get back up. Yeah. Some people, like, I got burnt by the fryer, I'm never cooking again. You know what I mean? Like it's like, shame on you for doing that. But hey, there's a lesson there. Don't do it again. Yeah. Let's keep going, right?
It totally fuels the fire now. When things like that happen, or we find things that aren't quite where we want them to be, or I have to learn things the hard way, you're right in what you said before. I might not have got those learnings unless those things happen. But now it goes, this is why we need to have safe environments for women and girls. Or this is why that, and it just fuels this big fire, and sort of, it's money in the bank for me, really, when things like that happen. Yes, it might hurt for a moment, but then it's, what are we doing with it? Let's go.
The guy that's sitting behind these cameras here, he could tell you a few tough stories, and look at him now. He's flying and things are great. But if it wasn't for that grit and determination to want to prove, maybe not necessarily to their world, but to himself or to yourself, that you deserve better and you want better and you're striving for better. And, my friend Phil Handy, who, again, professional coach, he has a brand called BYOG, which is Be Your Own Goat. Be your own goat. Be your own greatest of all time.
That is awesome.
Forget about I almost had a brain fart. I was like, what was it again? No, BYOG. It's be your own goat. And professional athletes are wearing that stuff now, and I think it's a mindset more so. But I value what you're doing. I have high value and high regard for what you've set out to achieve and what you're achieving, and how you're going about it is very, very inspirational. And if you're not proud of yourself, fuck, I am. I'm really proud of you, and I want to try to get around you as much as possible. And I don't think I need to kick in any doors because you're capable of doing it yourself, but just give you a safe place to continue to do your best work, and maybe BYOG.
BYOG. I really like that. I was thinking bring your own game, or but I like be your own goat. I love that.
Just focus on you. I said to Maddie the other day, like, she's devastated that she's leaving some friends behind. She's transitioning to a new school, and I'm like, you got to focus on, like, being the best that you can be. You can't carry that weight on your shoulders, not at 12 or 13 years of age. And you've just got to focus on being the best. You got 24 seconds, i.e. 24 hours in this day. Make it your best day ever. And I think that you live that, and you're delivering that. And I think you're empowering a lot of people in the wake of your trailblaze. And I think you're doing great. So keep going. We're going to cut to a quick break from our friends at Luna, and then Kate and I will be back. Luna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, Luna.co is where you need to be starting off. Skater.
Yeah, I love that. So empowering. And each of those modules, I can think about times on my journey that I would have loved some extra resources, skills, anything to get through. And I can just see the benefit for the girls going through those programs and hopefully going through the schools. Like, imagine how cool that would be through both of our kids' schools.
Yeah. And you said you'd met Holly at Port Melbourne?
Port Melbourne Football Club.
Yeah. We should get Holly in front of Marco at
Yes.
Melbourne Victory.
Absolutely.
We were just I took the girls to the women's grand final. Marco
Yeah.
invited me over to the stadium, and we watched it. Unlucky, they lost in overtime by penalty shootout by 1 goal. So the Victory lost the grand final of the women's game, but my girls were in it and loving it and thriving.
Yes.
So I think we got to introduce Holly to Marco and see whether or not there's opportunity at the Victory Football Club there for her. I'm going to try and help her collide with Alice Kunek because I think Alice could be a huge value add, hopefully. I'm not trying to put words in Alice's or ideas in Alice's head. And then, in terms of like our outreach here on not only on the pod, but at Cubes and broad, like I'm about it just because, I want the world to recognize I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but gender to me is almost, it's not irrelevant because I got a lot of black friends that actually I'm black. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't see the color. I just saw you as the person, and they get offended by that because they're proudly black, right? So I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I don't look at color. I don't look at gender. I don't look at race. I just look at good people.
Yes.
And if you're a CEO doing amazing things and you happen to be black, Asian, white, gay, straight, whatever, I don't care. I personally don't care. And I'm aspiring to help the world break down, dare I say, the barriers that Holly had for herself in saying, you know what, fuck that. I'm good enough.
It's individuality, isn't it? Supporting people to be themselves and to be individuals and look at their skill set, exactly what you said to your daughter. Be the best that you can be, your greatest of all time.
And the world needs that.
Someone else.
Yeah, and the world needs that. I need you to be the best Kate because I can't be Kate.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that James needs to be the best James that he is to be, right?
We don't need more sheep, that's for sure.
That's right. So I think what Holly's doing is amazing. The fact that she's doing it for girls to create this equilibrium and balance is fantastic, and I'm all in.
Yeah, get behind it.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.